Having two people on the same page, Rio.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time where you're actually both on the same page,
Yeah,
right?
Because it was always either or. It was always one or the other. I remember one time we went to Hawaii 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so this is how long she's been doing something, with you. So 2 years ago we went to Hawaii, and I just remember she was on this strict diet. And she was maybe doing like a 30-day cleanse at that point, and then I wasn't, and it was just so hard for her to stay committed because both individuals weren't committed. So it's really cool to have that support, and but it's not impossible to do it on your own. I know it's hard to have your spouse be able to be on the same page, and I'm not saying that that's the only way to have success, because my sister's a perfect example of that, where her husband is not on the 30-day challenge or 90-day challenge now, and she was, and she's excelling at it, and she's doing great. Right now she's in Mexico. And she's been using myself and Nilza as kind of her coaches and mentors, and asking us for guidance and like, hey, what should I do? I'm going out of town. And then we're like, just sign up, figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Right?
So she's out there, and I'm seeing her pictures, and like it looks like a busted ass gym, because we're in like a small pueblo, mind you. So it's like, it's not anything like EOS here, but she's out there working out with whatever she has to work out with. And it's just cool to see that, because once again, it's her by herself. It's not her spouse that's doing it with her, but because she has this environment, this environment that you guys have, it really helps her thrive. And that's been the case with a lot of people. Like, there's been other people that have been in the Bravo with Charlie that have reached out and asked for, guidance. So it's cool to have that. I think this is something that, like the diet stuff, it's out there, right? You can read a book, you can watch a YouTube video, and then you can have a good workout plan put together. But the one secret pill that I think that resides in this program is the environment that you guys have. Because without that environment, without that type of atmosphere, without that type of involvement from everybody supporting you and giving you, that really to me is the secret to this entire program is. Obviously, like I said, all the other stuff, it's easy to do it, right? But nobody does it because you don't have that, So if you don't have your spouse, if you don't have somebody to rely on, then rely on this group, on this environment, and that'll help push you.
No, it really is, because that reminds you, you're not doing this alone, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're by yourself and you're meeting with one coach or one trainer, it's you and him for that 1 hour, and then you go out to the real world where everyone's doing the mediocre, the alternative, right, of what we're trying to accomplish. Here we have a community where Carla's one comes in pretty hard sometimes. We have the coming in hot specials that she does.
Those are good.
And she fired us up last week because after we do it for so long, some of us tend to kind of go back on our old habits. They creep up, and that's why there's so much yo-yo dieting. But your goal, Carla, was to make sure that you could stay consistent. You have a simple plan, which is the meal plan. You have the exercise plan. You have your app. All these things really help all of us, right?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people, they'll have the Apple apps, they download all these fitness apps, they end up going to this fitness trainer, they end up meeting with a nutritionist, and I have them all. I mean, I have over 200 people in my group, so I hear all these different stories. I've met with a nutritionist, and I never saw results only because there was no support behind it. It was just me and a nutritionist. I met with a trainer, there was no support behind it because it was just me and the trainer. So it's always one of those things. And this, what I love about these spaces is that when they come in together, from the alphas, the bravos, the charlies, and all the deltas, they come in together as a family. So they all come in with the same struggles. They all come in with different stories, but on the same journey. So they almost start to become really, really almost like a family in the group. It's a bond that they all have. The queens and the kings have this special bond that it's nobody comes into these new groups. It's a group that you build as a family together. So the bond is incredible. But what's amazing about it is that everyone knows you exist. And so I'm constantly on your case. I'm constantly making sure you're showing up. I'm holding you accountable. But it's not just me alone. It's everybody within your group that knows you exist. And again, the photos on a weekly basis, the meal plans, the workout plans, the app that I'm on, and I'm showing you all these workouts. So we're constantly one-on-one. You always have that coach, and you always have that group support. But Rio's right. One of the difference between this and your typical app on the app store, like your trainers or the environment that we build within the groups. It is amazing. The kings and queens are just tight. By the end of the week, everybody is talking to each other and meeting each other. And it's amazing. And people are from here to California, New York, and it feels like you already know them.
Yes, and because you see the actual work that goes into it. So you appreciate the next person. right? When you see the hard work and the grit and the sacrifices, aka investment, we've been calling it because it is an investment in your future. But you see all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this, and you have that respect for that other individual, saying you went from this to this. That wasn't done because you took a pill. That wasn't done because you went on this juicing diet. It was done through the hard work. And that's one thing that you put out there is nothing is easy about this. It's gonna. That's why it's called a challenge. Oftentimes we hear challenges. It's like, oh, you just do it as if you want. This is a challenge because it's gonna push you to the core. It pushed all of us to the core. The first 30 days are the toughest, the toughest. But it shows you something about yourself. That if I can do this, what else can I do?